got some big stories out there. Our next guest is known by his millions of fans as Wallo267. He made headlines for being named one of the most powerful people in podcasting in 2024. But at his core, he is Wallace Peeples, a man telling his story, not just being the headline. His name, Wallo267, refers to his prison inmate number. Wallo spent 20 years of his life behind bars, starting at age 11. And now he's an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, and the co-host of one of the top music podcasts in the world, $1 Million Worth of Game. And he has a powerful new book. It is called Armed with Good Intentions, which has already made the New York Times bestseller list. Tan fam, please welcome podcast superstar Wallo267. Of course. Have a seat. I love it. Congratulations on this. I've been following your story for a very long time, but there's nothing like someone telling their story. Yeah. This picture stopped me in my tracks. It is a picture of you with your stepfather, Hip. Tell us where you were in this.
I was going to visit him. That was in the 80s. We used to go visit him, me and my brother Steve. He used to always try to stop me from being in the streets. It was hard, you know. It didn't go that way.
Because you all ended up in the same cell.
Yeah, 1998, I wanted to become cellmates with Hip. And
your stepfather?
My stepfather. In 2005, me and my brother became cellmates in the same prison, the exact same prison. He used to always try to stop me through the phone calls, through the visits from getting in the streets, but he was outnumbered, you know. He was outnumbered by, what I seen. I wanted to be a part of that.
I went to Temple University. You grew up, not far. We got Philly always in the house here.
Yeah. Yes.
What I think you so beautifully write about is the humanizing of a young boy, like so many other kids who feel they don't have the choice, that the bad choices outnumber the good choices. Yeah,
your mom, your grandma, different people in your family going to tell you to do right, but when you hit the streets, when you're going to school, they outnumbered. Yeah. They're going to be outnumbered, especially if you ain't got a father there that's consistently on you, instilling just how to make them choices in life. And, it's rough, and then, you seeing so many different things. And, where I grew up at, everybody respected successful criminals, it seemed like. Yeah. Whether we was watching the movies, whether we was watching Scarface, whether we was watching the judges, the lawyers, everybody respected the successful criminal. So it was like, oh, I got to be that.
I got to be that.
Yeah, because I didn't see nobody in my neighborhood respecting Mr. John that was coming from work every day, dirty. They was, when the drug dealer pull up with the Benz, Miss Johnson, Miss Brown, Miss Green, hey, baby. They ain't say nothing to him. They ain't say nothing to the working man. So I was like, I got to be him. So I was.
And you're so honest about that, because I do think sometimes people sugarcoat. Life is not a straight line.
No.
And they easily say, well, look, you could look up to this person. It's not as easy because the mind can be infiltrated by so many things. So by age 17, you were arrested, charged with armed robbery of a fast food restaurant. You soon arrived there and your mentality began to change. You wrote in the book, I had no intention of being there any longer than I had to without fully understanding my purpose. I knew I had to change my life drastically to get on the right path. So.
Yeah. A lot of times in our community, through music, through stuff, people talk about it like it ain't. Man, I was scared to death. I didn't know if I was gonna make it out. I didn't know if I was gonna get raped. I didn't know. You don't know. I think a lot of people that you see it on television, but it's different when you in it. And the first day I got there, the lady asked me, as she was doing me an intake, she said, in case of emergency, where you want your body sent? So I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? I didn't know it was gonna be like that. So
even though you visited Hip there, even though you knew people who had been incarcerated and you'd seen what the 80s and the 90s and all those things, going in was different.
Man, I was scared to death. Man, you know how in life, we good, especially now with social media, everybody good on telling about what they'll do with somebody else's situation in their life.
That part.
Now, you looking at a movie like, Dad, why he ain't do this in jail? I'm looking at a movie, I'm in jail now, and I'm the movie, and I'm like, God, listen, if you hook me up this time, I got you. I got you, God. Get me up out of here. You know, I'm trying to get him out of here. I'm like, man, you ain't tell me this.
You didn't tell, this was not in the manual.
This ain't in none of the holy books. You ain't talking about this. You know, so it was like, I gotta get out of here and I gotta make a change.
All right, coming up, what Wallo's 90-year-old grandmother says about his book and how he's encouraging others to find new life after prison. Wallo267 after the break.
This book is my story, my journey, from a scared, dysfunctional kid, a seemingly lost soul, to a beacon of hope and a man of integrity, from terrorizing the streets of Philly to being honored by the Philadelphia mayor as a change maker and a positive impact on the very city that raised me.
Today we're talking to people behind the story headlines with the co-host of $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, New York Times bestselling author Wallo267. You know, that made me cry because I can't even imagine what it's like. You were going to prison. I was graduating college that same year, both of us in Philadelphia. You now have the mayor on your side. They barely know my name. No, I'm kidding. I mean, talk about the ability to turn around your grandmother, who's now 90.
Yes.
Nanny?
Yes.
What was it like to have everyone bet against you, but that one person still believing in you?
It was everything, but it was scary because I remember I'm in jail, and Nanny, like, when you coming home, I'm telling her next year, a year. Because I can't, I'm like, she telling me, like, I hope I'll be here when I see you gonna be there, Nanny, next year I'll be home, next year I'll be home, next year I'll be home. But, you know, to be able to come home and for her to actually see me do right, because she's the one that was always cheering that, you smarter than this, you know this. For her to see me do right, that was worth more than anything I could have ever accomplished in life. That was like the championship of life. For her to be able to be here, to see me do good, that's all I needed. Everything else was like, you know.
We have that picture of you when you got out and you were able to breathe air as a free man.
Yeah. No, you know what's crazy? That picture right there, that was the scariest day of my life. That was the scariest day of prison when you get out. Because now, everything that you told your family you got to be that. You got to deliver. And I'm like, I told Nanny this, I told her this. I don't know if I'm this person yet until I go up against temptation. So you scared. And a lot of family members, be patient with your family members when they come home from prison. Yeah. There's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of things, and I need people to see, if you're watching this in America, my name is Wallo267. I'm from the ghettos of America. I committed a lot of crimes, but I changed my life. I'm the culture advisor at YouTube. I'm a New York Times bestseller. And I'm not here to speak for me. I'm here to speak for the brothers and sisters that need a second chance also. And the possibilities, I'm just here to show example that when you're given a real second chance, you can go to the moon.
All right. Listen, rarely do I do this, but you have taken over my show. I'm gonna switch seats with you.
All right, let's go.
Here you go. Here you go. There you go. There's your prompter.
So listen.
Here you go. There, you're reading that.
I want to say this. This book right here is a New York Times bestseller because not just the story, it's about the community. I want to take this time to thank everybody that believed in me, believed in the second chance. I want to thank all them independent bookstores around the country. I want to thank all my loyal fans.
Okay, well, we have time. You got to read this. You got to stay on track.
Oh, I got to read what?
Right there. Right there. Right.
Oh, one more thing. I got to say this, though. If it wasn't for the strong sisters that I had, my PR, Anne-Marie, my manager.
Okay, well, this strong sister has a show.
You too.
I need you to read this. Read it.
All Will Get Attention. My book, All Will Get Attention, is available now at Nationwide Book Tour and Tam Fam. And I want to say, shout out to my manager, Desiree. I got to give her a shout out. I'm sorry. She's a sister. I got to give her a shout out.
Tam Fam, you're
my lawyer. And my lawyer, Shay.
267. Oh, my goodness.
I got to give him a shout out. I got to.
Wallo.
We'll be back. Shay, my lawyer. I got to give a shout out to him. They sisters.
Go.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back. Bye.